Earlier this year, I dropped a video talking about side hustles that you can start right now, and the response was wild.
We're all feeling it. That moment when direct deposit hits, the money comes in, and almost immediately you are doing mental math. Everything from rent, groceries, gas, insurance, something unexpectedly always sneaks in.
If you didn't catch it, I talked about high-paying paths like consulting, software freelance and automation, real estate, photography and videography, and niche asset flipping. Hear me out. All of those side hustles have one thing in common. They don't just make money. They have the capacity to scale into a real business. And I know a lot of you watched the video, and after you were finished, you thought to yourself, okay, now what? The S&P 500 companies that you see in the market did not start big. They've earned their way there because they've mastered the fundamentals long enough and repeated them to scale to get to where they are today. Think about Mark Zuckerberg. He started Facebook in a Harvard dorm room, originally created for college students. Here's the thing, he didn't try to be everything for everyone. He picked one problem to solve for one group and expanded from there. That's why today I'm breaking down 5 lessons that you can use from S&P 500 companies that you can apply directly to your side hustle. But don't worry, you don't need a big budget, a big team, and you don't need to burn yourself out along the way. All right, let's go ahead and dig into lesson number 1. Master one core offer first. Big companies don't win by doing everything at once. They win by focusing on one core offer and expanding from there. Take a look at Apple. Before services, wearables, and an ecosystem, they were just an iPhone company. When they first started, everything revolved around making one product exceptional. And now, let's bring that down to the side hustle level. Let's imagine someone starts consulting on the side. In week 1, they offer strategy calls. In week 2, they offer social media management. In week 3, they throw in website builds, automation, ads, branding, and from the outside, it looks ambitious. But from the market's perspective, it's a bit confusing. Now, let's compare that to someone else who has a consulting side hustle, but they focus on one thing. They'll say something like, I help small businesses automate their client follow-ups so that they stop losing leads. You see the difference? One problem, one outcome, and one clear offer. That second person is more dangerous in a good way because they can create better messaging, stronger case studies, smoother delivery because they're focusing in one direction. And think about it from the client perspective. They understand exactly what they do, and that's what makes referrals easier. And over time, that credibility and awareness from their clients builds demand faster. The key takeaway for this point is growth happens when you simplify. Pick one problem that your side hustle solves, and then be the best of the best and solve it better than anyone else you know. And you do that by building proof, confidence, and demand on a single outcome. Okay, lesson number 2. Brand is trust, not just the logo. Here's the thing, S&P 500 companies understand something that most side hustlers overlook. And I know a lot of companies have their cute logos, but brand isn't just about design, it's about trust. Think about Nike. They don't just sell shoes, they sell consistency. Every time you walk into a store or order online, you know exactly how the product will feel, how the experience will go, and what the brand stands for before you even buy. And that's one reason why they're so successful today. Let's also bring that down to the side hustle level. Let's imagine 2 real estate photographers charging the exact same price. Let's take the first one. They take hours to respond, sends short, sloppy emails, shows up late, and delivers inconsistently. You see, nothing's technically wrong, but the experience feels uncertain. Now, let's take the second photographer. They communicate clearly, set expectations up front, delivers on time, and is professional every time they're interacted with. With those 2 photographers, it's the same camera, same skill level, and same service, but a completely different trust level. Think about it. You're a client to some business out here. You don't just pay for talent, you pay for certainty. But put yourself back into your side hustle shoes. You don't need a massive marketing budget for this to work. What you need is clarity in what you offer, consistency in how you communicate, and reliability in how you deliver. When people know what to expect, they come back and they refer others without being asked. So when you're good from the start, your clients will do your marketing for you. Lesson number 3, subscribing to Money Talks Media. Because honestly, hitting subscribe now might be the only decision that costs you $0 today and actually pays off longer term. What you get here is better money and business decisions over time, no matter the topic. And also, I almost forgot, if you like content like this, I encourage you to check out this video above because it talks about big business strategies, but from a slightly different perspective. So take that video and this video and apply it to your ultimate strategy. If you're building a side hustle, your biggest edge is thinking correctly before you scale incorrectly. And that, my friend, is why this channel exists. No, but for real though, lesson number 3, systems beat hustle every single time. Large companies don't scale through effort alone. They scale through systems. Take a look at Amazon. Amazon's advantage isn't just their size. It's the repeatable processes that remove friction from every step, from ordering to delivery to returns. The system does all the heavy lifting so that the people that work for them don't have to think through every decision manually. Now, in another side hustle perspective, let's picture another real estate photographer. Photographer number 1 manually texts every client, forgets to follow up, sends invoices late, and constantly scrambles to know who owes what. Nothing feels stable because everything lives in their head. But with systems, everything's on paper or is included in a workflow. And now, let's compare that to photographer number 2. They use booking links, automated confirmations, and invoice reminders. In this case, clients knows exactly what's happening without even being asked. But just like with this one, same skill, same camera, same effort, but completely different output. You don't need complex software or expensive tools. And just like what I was saying earlier, you need simple workflows, reusable templates, and automation for those repetitive tasks. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If your side hustle only works when you do, you're not built to grow. You're built to get burnt out. Lesson number 4. Test fast and fail smart. S&P 500 companies don't wait for the perfect ideas. They test. What they do is they launch products, adjust pricing, experiment with marketing, and measure results quickly. They don't waste time at all. What works gets scaled and what doesn't gets cut. And as a side hustler, this is actually your advantage. The reason why is because you're not locked into massive budgets or long approval chains and bureaucracy that lives within large organizations. You can test faster and cheaper than everyone else that's bigger. And when you're a big company, you most likely have investors which are looking for larger returns. For example, when you're small and you're unsure whether to charge a client $500 or $1,000, you don't need a 20-page plan. Offer both to different clients and see what converts. The small experiments that you do now protect you from the biggest mistakes. Don't get me wrong, the goal here is not to avoid failure. The goal here is to fail smart, learn fast, and adjust without risking everything. Lesson number 5. Customer experience is the real moat. One of the biggest reasons why companies like Starbucks or Amazon dominate is not price. It's the experience. Amazon thrives off customer obsession, and you should too. One of my favorite books is called The Bezos Letters by Steve Anderson. One chapter specifically talks about customer obsession. I believe it was like the first or second chapter. But the reason that chapter was at the beginning was because of how important it is. I encourage you to read it because it's a game changer. People always remember how you made them feel and how they were treated. Just remember the last time you had a good or bad experience working with a company out here. And whether the experience was good or bad, you remember how you felt. If you had to prioritize these lessons in importance, this one would probably be at the top. All right, let's tie all of this together and wrap up with the practical takeaways. Number 1, focus on one core offer before expanding. Look at Apple. Before services, wearables, or subscriptions, they focused on making their iPhone world-class. Number 2, build trust through consistency, not perfection. Nike doesn't win because one product is revolutionary. They win because customers know exactly what they're getting every single time. Number 3, create simple systems that remove friction. Amazon scaled because processes replace guesswork. Everything they use today, from orders to fulfillments to follow-ups, they all run on systems. Number 4, test ideas quickly without overthinking. Companies like Meta constantly test features, pricing, and user behavior. And number 5, treat customer experience like your biggest asset. Starbucks doesn't dominate because of coffee alone. They dominate because people know the experience they will feel every time they pull up to a store. You don't need to think bigger, you just need to think clearer. And if you just apply one of these lessons to your side hustle, you're already playing a different game. But as always, appreciate your continued support. I hope you take care, and I'll see you in the next one.